Okay, the big three's here. And as we talked about yesterday, let's hope it lasts for a while, right? 20 games, 25 games. I understand the injury history of these big three players. I understand, kind of what we're dealing with here. We're not naive. But at the same time, to really get an idea of what you've got, how this is going to work, and substitution patterns and what roles guys are going to play, it'd be beneficial for everybody if Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant could have a good, nice, long, productive stretch so we can really start to get some answers about this Phoenix Suns team.
And we want answers. We want the truth, right? We do. We want to see what this team is capable of, and I think they're capable of great things. I just think that it's going to take time. They just we said this a lot. Like, the only two players that played with each other on the Suns for any extended period of time is Devin Booker and Josh Okogie. Now, Eubanks and Nurkic played together, but they didn't really play together, right? When Nurkic was on the floor, Banks was sitting. When Eubanks was playing, so they didn't really play together, and that was in Portland. So I think that we need a lot of games. This is the first step of many, but you got to get to this point where these three guys start to work together to figure out how to play together.
Devin Booker spoke with the media today at the Suns practice facility. He said he really took his time with this one.
No, I took my time with this one. I was coming back if we were on a win streak or not, or a losing streak right now. So, it's a long season. We're not going to overreact. Still a lot of basketball to be played, and we're at full strength now.
Will he be on a minute restriction tonight?
I think so, but I don't know what that is. So I talk to the training staff. I trust them. I'll talk to coach. He's done things like this in the past, so I'm going to work my way into it.
Got to imagine he's going to be.
Of course, he's played 2 games.
He played through one basically against the Spurs, which might have been how he hurt himself again, right? He was on a minutes restriction that night against San Antonio. Blew right past it, and he ended up missing 2 weeks. I would hope he did here a little bit more. Now, that might be a little disappointing tonight when we see him exit at times. We're not used to seeing him exit or not playing minutes. What are we looking for tonight? What are we hoping Devin Booker makes better? I mean, outside of just basic wins and losses.
Can I start with the fourth quarter?
Go for it, please.
Has to be better. I mean, if you say there's a couple of things. To me, one is to be able to finish a basketball game. To finish a game. Minnesota played last night. That's a tough back-to-back. They're going from San Francisco area to here, right? They played the Warriors on the road. Now they got to come here, and they got to play the Suns back-to-back. They've won 7 in a row. They're going to be a little bit tired, so play better in the fourth quarter. They only scored 2 baskets against Oklahoma City in the fourth quarter of that game and lost. They had a lead. They had the lead against the Lakers in the fourth quarter, and they lost. So finish better. I want to see them finish the basketball game better. I don't care if they're up by 8, 10, whatever it is. Put that team away in the fourth quarter tonight. That's one. Number 2 is just take better care of the ball.
I
want them to take better care of the basketball because a lot of these turnovers are leading to easy baskets for the other team. So that's got to stop.
That's my number 1, and I think you just nailed on both of them. I've got a third, but it's a little further down the list. I think the turnovers. Now, again, Devin Booker is a turnover-prone player. I mean, we know this about him. But I think with him out there, there's just going to be a level of continuity. Maybe not right away, maybe not at first, but I think there's going to be a level of continuity where guys are just going to be in better position to understand where the ball needs to go and how it needs to move around and how to be smarter with the basketball. I think even though Devin Booker is a guy who is prone to the turnovers, I really do think that will improve. The other thing I'm really ready to see all of these vet minimum guys, all of these role players finally get to play the roles that they're supposed to play in and not be above their skis, right? Because I feel like most of the guys have been playing in roles all season long that they were just not built for. They were not brought in for. That's not what they're here for, right? Whether it's Grayson Allen or Eric Gordon or Yuta Watanabe or any of them, really. I can't wait to see guys get slotted into the roles and the minutes and the jobs that they're supposed to, because I think they'll be better when they're playing in the roles that they were brought here for, as opposed to something much bigger because everybody was hurt and they had to expand their responsibilities.
I think the best game I've seen by a role player was Eric Gordon was the Pistons game when he played really well. I mean, outside of that, I haven't seen. Eubanks has had some moments
Grayson
here or
Allen
there.
had that great shooting
Grayson
game.
Allen had the great shooting game. We hit all the 3-pointers. Okay, so there's been a few of them. But I think a lot of these guys have felt a little bit of pressure to kind of step up with all the absences and try to do more things than they're accustomed to. Probably more so Utah Watanabe than anybody else. I mean, I was thrilled when they got him. He shot 51% from corner threes, and he just hasn't looked right. And maybe it's because guys are feeling a little bit of pressure with other guys out that I have to score more. I've got to be able to contribute. So they've kind of struggled with that. But I agree. I think it's almost like a baseball bullpen. Like, once you got Paul Sewald, it bumped everybody down. They were more comfortable with their roles.
It's a good metaphor. I like that. And I'm also looking forward to seeing it. And I don't know how much of it we'll see tonight, given that, Beal, I would imagine he's still on a minutes restriction too, with the back that tightened up on him. And hopefully, they're careful with that. They manage his minutes a little bit because you got to keep him around. I'm looking forward to seeing how many open shots are created by the mere presence of two of them being on the floor at the same time.
But I've seen Beal and KD on the floor together, and it hasn't been great because Beal doesn't look right yet. But
Agreed.
Book with KD or Book with Beal, I want to see that.
Yeah, I just want to see how many open looks does Grayson Allen get? How many open looks does Nurkic get? He should get a ton. Watanabe in the corner should be feasting all day long, right? Keita Bates-Diop should get tons of open looks now because especially when all three are on the floor. And that's the other thing, too. How often will all three be out there together? How often will it be three of them?
On a minutes restriction, it's going to be hard to tell.
It will be, and it'll be different, and it'll evolve as the season goes. But even in this initial kind of wave here, how often will three of them be out there? How often will two of them be out there? How often will we ever see just one of them out there? Will it always be at least two that are out there? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't think you could gauge that when you've got your main guy on a minutes restriction. So I think that will come once Booker's not on a minutes restriction. Fair. Because, they'll probably pull Book out 5 minutes into the first quarter today. They'll probably start Book, but then pull him out 5 minutes in. Okay, get a rest. Where normally he might play the whole quarter, right? And then sit the start of the second quarter. And Beal may go to the bench. And then, KD and Book play the whole first, and Beal goes to the bench early, but then Beal starts. It'll be interesting to see how it works, but I don't know you'll get a true gauge of that tonight.
Probably not. But we'll start to get some clues as to how it's going to work and how it's going to look, because I suspect that there will, unless there's foul trouble, that there will never be a time, once we get through this initial first couple of weeks here of getting everybody ramped up conditioning-wise, I suspect there will not be a time when there's just one of them on the floor. I'd be really surprised. I think there will be two of them on the floor at all times. I think.
I would be wrong. I
think so.
I mean, I would expect that. I would expect that there'll be two on the floor at all times.
I just can't imagine there's only going to be
foul trouble or something,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's what why would you got those are 3-star players. They're all max players. You got to take advantage of that.
Yeah. Here is more Devin Booker today talking about helping Kevin Durant out.
We needed some figuring out. We were relying on Kev a lot, and he was doing a good job of scoring the basketball over multiple defenses. But, that's where we can help him out, where, hopefully you won't see those defenses. And if teams try to do that, we'll definitely make them pay.
Again, the game starts at 7 o'clock here on Arizona Sports. Our pregame coverage with Tim Ring begins at 6 here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. The Big Three make their debut.